Hello and welcome back to the Success Catalyst. This is Nina Robert, and today I have an exciting guest who is making a significant impact in the field of personal development. Joining me today is Piyush Somani, a certified life coach who has been transforming lives since 2021. Piyush specialized in guiding individuals to navigate the often overwhelming challenges of peer pressure, external validation, social media influences, and status symbols, helping them discover true happiness and fulfillment. So, with a passion for empowering people to find their authentic selves in a world filled with external expectations, Piyush's approach is both insightful and transformative. He helps his clients break free from societal pressures and lead lives aligned with their true values and passions. I'm thrilled to have Piyush with me today to share his journey, insights, and practical advice on finding real happiness in life. So, welcome to the show, Piyush.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you for the introduction. That was a very long introduction. I don't know what I'm going to speak for the past.
You know, sometimes we take ourselves for granted because we are so familiar with what you're doing and we forget how amazing our work is and how inspiring we can be to other people. So, yeah, that was a reminder for you of how awesome you are.
Thank you so
So,
much.
let's start. What inspired you to become a life coach, and how did your personal experiences shape your journey into this profession?
Okay. So I think the journey started maybe a decade and a half ago. So I have always been a curious person. I always had those questions of who created life, why was it created, who is the creator, what is the purpose of our life. And uh, frankly, even after 15 years, I don't think I have an answer, or any person has the answer. I think we all have our own perspectives to this uh, basic questions, and that is what all philosophy is, trying to find the answers to these questions. And I think that was how the journey started, with philosophy, with curiosity. And then I started reading few books, and then I did something known as graphology, which is handwriting analysis. And then I got into body language and I got into psychology. So I think this was how I started the journey. And then it was pretty organic for me to guide people, to motivate people. But uh, professionally, I am a chartered accountant, and I never had any plan to pursue anything in philosophy or psychology. So it was just out of sheer passion and sheer curiosity. But I would like to talk about a specific incident which was actually a trigger. So I used to motivate a friend, and uh, he was giving few exams in India, and he couldn't pass the exam. So after every result, we used to talk. I used to motivate him, and that was happening over maybe 3 4 years time frame. But one fine morning, I guess in 2019, he suddenly called me at 5 a.m. And I picked up the call, and he said that I want to commit suicide. And I was actually very shocked. And then uh, just to process, I took a pause and I thought, why is he calling me if he actually want to commit suicide? He could have done it anyway, right? Uh, so I realized that in that moment, he was again looking for some kind of motivation, someone who could talk him out of this situation. And we spoke for 1.5 hours, and then so by till that point, I never realized that the situation was so bad. He was so depressed. I just thought that maybe he was a bit stressed. Otherwise, I would have asked him directly to go to a therapist, because I am not qualified to guide him or heal him. I could just motivate him. So that day I told him, you need to go to therapist. And then he actually went to a therapist, and things are fine now with him. But then this incident was a trigger, and I thought, if I am good at it, I like helping people, and I have a decent amount of knowledge of philosophy and psychology. So I think I should do something. And then I came across life coaching and how they do it, and that's how I became a life coach.
Wow, such an inspiring story. And, we underestimate the effect or the impact we can have on someone's life. And I think your friend is lucky to have you, and you are lucky to actually be able to listen and be able
Yeah.
to have this impact on his life. So that's truly amazing. I know peer pressure is per- pervasive issue that affects many, many people, and they often really get unnoticed, even unaware of the situation. So, can you share some of the common ways it manifests and how you help your clients overcome it?
Yeah, so you rightly use the word pervasive, right?
Mhm.
Because when we talk about peer pressure, we think that peer pressure is only maybe uh, with teenagers, but I think peer pressure is everywhere. It is applicable to every gender, every age group. So it's not limited to teenagers or young adults. I think it is applicable to everyone, every part of the world. Uh, I think peer pressure is so subtle. I mean, we don't even realize that we made a decision out of peer pressure. So, just to give you a recent example, I had a conversation with one of my cousins. So he bought a new iPhone, right? He is just 18 and he bought an iPhone. And he said, I bought an iPhone 15. What version do you have? He asked me. I said, I don't have an iPhone. I have it's Xiaomi. So he said, why? And I said, why you have an iPhone? So he had no answer to that. And then I told him that. Then he asked me why I don't have it. So I said that uh, I have a very limited usage of my phone, and I don't need any kind of extraordinary security. I'm not a photography enthusiast, or I'm not even a gamer that I need a very fast processor. So I told him I know what I need the phone for, and if I am getting the same features in one third of the cost, why should I buy it? Just for brand value? And he had no answer. So I asked him, why did you buy? And he said, he gave a very vague answer. And eventually he admitted that it was because all of his friends had it. And so,
Yeah.
so I know that buying an iPhone is not a very big thing. It's not a life changing decision, but then this is how things build up, right? The small decisions we make through peer pressure, and then it builds up, and then eventually we end up making big life decisions based on peer pressure, right? So at least if I have to talk about Indian culture, if I have to give a big example of peer pressure, that when you turn 25 or 26, you start seeing that your friends are getting married, and then you get that pressure, and then even the parental pressure comes in, and then you eventually decide to get married, either arranged or otherwise. And then you wonder after years whether you made a right decision or not. So I think these are some things which come under peer pressure. Now, to answer your question, how do I coach people? I think the most important thing I teach people is awareness, right? So, as I told about the iPhone example, why I need a phone, why do I need it? What are the features that are bare minimum that I need? So this is what awareness is. So now when I know something, I'll make decision out of that awareness and not out of what others are doing. So and once you raise an awareness, I think 50 to 60% of the job is done. Then it's just about accountability, right? Once you are clear about your values, what you want to do in life, uh, what activities you want to do, what things you need to buy, and what people you need to be. I think awareness is the biggest thing that helps.
Sometimes we only need to ask ourselves the question, for the answer to come like straight away. I don't actually need it. I'm just doing it. I don't know why. Maybe that's the first reply. I don't know why. And
Yeah.
then eventually we will be able to admit to ourselves it's the fear of missing out. It's just to be like everybody else. It's because it's trendy. It's because it will make me look better in front of other people or my friends or my colleagues. Or
That
it's something I can brag about at the next party. And they're
exactly.
really not that that useful as or
Yeah.
not interesting as
Yeah. Yeah.
reasons. They're not
Yeah.
valid reasons. So yeah,
Correct. So,
awareness.
so if I have to add here, so there is I read it somewhere on LinkedIn, I guess, few weeks ago, that if you are uh, planning to buy something,
Mm-hmm.
uh, don't buy it today. Wait for maybe 3 weeks, and then if even after 3 weeks, if you feel that you still need that thing, then only you buy. So
Yeah.
it happens that in majority of the cases, 75% of the cases, you don't need that thing, and then 3 weeks is a good amount of time to realize that.
You know, I do that. I mean, I didn't even hear it was the way of doing it. But sometimes when I like challenge myself into buying the next trendy gadget that I find on Amazon or following an ad or something, I'll just put it in my wish list.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it there. Like if
Yeah.
I really need it, I will remember it. And sometimes, like just after a few months, I'm like, oh wow, okay, I was planning to buy this. I don't know even why I did put it in my wish list in the first place. And yeah, you're right. It's like in the moment we are sometimes impulsive and we want to
Correct.
do this and
Yeah.
we want to follow our emotion and eventually it just fades out. Sometimes we buy things that we don't even use. So yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
And in today's digital age, many people seek validation through social media and status symbols. What are
Yeah.
some strategies that you recommend for individuals to cultivate self worth and reduce reliance on external validation?
I think, as you rightly said, that uh, when people seek external validation, the main problem is self-esteem or self-worth, right? Because uh, we are not self-aware. We don't have our own choices. We don't think
Mhm.
about our passions or our purpose. And because we don't know all of this, then we need some guidance, right? And then when we don't know ourselves, we depend on others to guide us, to make decision making. So
Yes.
I think this is the root cause of everything, that self awareness, the need to ask yourself the difficult questions. And in most of the cases, people know the answer. It's just that someone needs to come and ask them. This is what coaching is in the end. Someone asks you those questions and you yourself find those answers. I think that is why. Uh, so when I help my uh, clients with, let's take an example of social media, keeping a check on social media.
Hmm.
So I tell them that, again, the awareness. Let's say I'll give my example. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, and uh, I'm on WhatsApp, right? So I know what each platform means to me and why I am on those platforms. So if I have to connect with my friends or my relatives or my family, either I have a phone call or I have WhatsApp for it, right? Now I am on LinkedIn because I promote my coaching business and I create content on LinkedIn. That's why I am on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
And thirdly, why I'm on Instagram, because I have my own passions, right? So I am a tennis player and I am a cooking aficionado, and I I brew my own coffee as well. So these three, four things, I I like to watch those videos which support my passions. And so I'm on Instagram. And in fact, uh, because I want to only focus on these things, I have muted everyone on the Instagram, right? So I don't see anyone's story. I don't see anyone's post because I'm not on Instagram to see what they are doing.
Hmm.
For that, I have my WhatsApp. So this is the level of awareness which I have on why I am using that. And because I have this level of awareness, I can keep a check that I am using Instagram for just 4 hours for an entire week, right? So maybe just half an hour or 40 minutes every day. So I have kept that limit. So this is how awareness can keep a check on how you control social media. And when you control that, then the external validations just, uh, you can draw a line on that.
So basically, be intentional on what you want to see on social media, and
Yeah.
actually be aware that you have a decision to actually mute the stories that will just make you
Yeah.
feel like less worthy, or just make you like fear of missing out, or just really cause any social anxiety that we may be facing on social media. And also decide on following up things that are fun, um, like educational, something about your passion, as you said, about tennis, about coffee, something really useful to you, and really like think about it as an investment in your time. That's actually the case, because either wasting our time or investing it to get something in return. Could be educational, could be fun, could be I don't know, following up your passion, learning something new that will serve you, or generating revenue if you're on social media for your business. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time instead of doing something else, and you're putting on that extra pressure that no one needs. Yeah.
And if I have to add here again, so and it's not just limited to Instagram. I think we all just make Instagram a scapegoat, that only Instagram is the culprit of all the social media anxiety, social anxiety. I think even because I have been on LinkedIn for last 10 years now, I see that so many people are there quoting about six-figure businesses and all that stuff, and they are just bragging about uh, what they are doing. And I think when you open LinkedIn, you feel that everyone is successful other than me. So I think that also uh, plays with your psyche, and then you start judging yourself. Oh, so many people are doing so many things and they are so successful at it. What am I doing with my life? And then that's how your self-esteem, self-confidence goes down. And that is why any social media, I think, uh, there should be a limit, and you should be mindful of that.
Yeah, and also be mindful that everyone is likely to share like the best thing that's happening. Nobody's sharing the constant stress they're living under in their 9 to 5 job. Nobody's sharing the number of applications that got rejected. Nobody's sharing these numbers. Nobody's sharing these experiences. And nobody's sharing any bad pictures of bad hair day on Instagram, right? We only share the best of the best. But we end up in this concentrated amount of content that is just so optimized, and we feel like, oh my God, I can't even compete with that. And on the other hand, when something good happens, we don't find it like valuable enough or worthy enough for it to be shared. Like, okay, I got this job, but it's really not that good. I just like got accepted, so I can't really brag about it in the social media post that's saying I'm thrilled to have been promoted to senior extra executive prime elite something, whatever it is. But yeah, and it makes us miss out the small wins in life, and I think this is a major component to success and to self-worth. To really be aware of your small wins and to celebrate them. You don't have to brag about them on social media, but you can literally like use a journal and write your wins every day, even the smallest ones. And when you feel down, instead of scrolling social media, scroll on that journal and celebrate yourself.
Lot of people but find journaling boring, and I think it is because maybe people are not good at expressing themselves through writing, and so journaling doesn't work for a lot of them. But I think people who are good at writing, I think they should try journaling. It's a very good habit to develop.
Yeah, and I think we took writing as considered it always as a chore. in our childhood. We were like supposed to write, I don't know, a 5 line essay or 15 pages, whatever it is, article or something. So we did not associate writing with fun or writing with value. But it's really, really crucial to learn how to process emotions, thoughts, ideas, express them, and it helps with communication skills as well. If you practice like speaking, talking, in writing first, it can only help you. So yeah, definitely. I love writing myself. So uh, I know you focus on helping people find true happiness amidst societal pressures. That's like your signature thing. So how can you define authentic happiness, and what steps can people take to achieve it?
I'll start my answer with a confession that I only put that I help people with authentic happiness, but I don't believe that people can always be happy, right? So I only put happiness because people can understand what I'm saying. But when I'm coaching people, the first thing I tell them is, don't expect yourself to be happy all the time. No, not a single person on this earth is happy all the time, right? I think that's what I help people understand, that life is cyclical, right? Happiness, sadness, ecstasy, pleasure, success, failure, depression. I think love, hate, everything is part of life. You cannot just escape something. So when you accept that this time will pass, whether it's a happy time or a sad time, everything will pass. Everything is temporary. When you accept this fact, it becomes easier to deal with life, right? And when you just rise above the emotions, rise above the feelings, then you live your life authentically. That's what I mean when I say authentic happiness. When I say authentic happiness, I mean authentic living. When you are actually in the present moment without getting dragged by the emotions, and just looking at the real picture and actually doing something you love. Because even doing something you love, not necessary that it will always make you happy, right? Even when you are doing something you love, let's say I'm playing tennis, it's not that I'm always 100% happy when I'm doing it. There are some moments of struggle when I'm learning the shot, right? So that's why it's important not to make any decision or do anything just by expecting that you will be 100% happy by doing that. I think that is what I help people with.
That's a very good perspective, because I don't think we think of happiness this way. Or at least not many people think of happiness this way. We think of like, okay, I will have this and that, and after that, I'll be happy. It's like, it's not an equation. If you have, I don't know, the house of your dreams plus $1 million plus the family of your dreams plus whatever it is that you want, you will be happy like forever after. That's not going to happen. And it's not to be happy all the time. We have to learn how to experience all the emotions, all the struggles. It's really part of the journey. I always assimilate life with a video game. If all video games were so easy with no monsters and no steps and no side quests to like, you wouldn't want something like that, right?
Correct, exactly.
Yeah. So we love talking about success stories here on the Success Catalyst. So having coached people since 2021, what are some of the most profound lessons that you learned from your clients' journeys maybe, and how can have these experiences shaped your coaching approach?
Well, I think in last 2.5, 3 years, I have coached around 50-55 people one-on-one. And the common pattern which I have came across was, of course, one of the thing was that people are running the rat race without any mindfulness. So again, doing the things which society expects, what traditions expect you and the peer pressure. So I think this is the one part. And secondly, because most of my clients have been women, I have noted the pattern that one of the things that women don't do, which they should be doing, is standing up for themselves. Uh, I, in so many years, I have seen that in general, uh, uh, women have a little bit less self-esteem, and I think
Yeah.
they should be doing it more. And one of the reason is because they themselves don't respect themselves. I have seen that pattern, and I think uh, that is where women need to take action. But I think the time has changed, feminism has come in, and women have realized their worth now. And things are improving, but still, I think, I still think that women should stand up. They should believe in themselves, and they should keep their heads high. I think this is what I have noted.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that. And now, can you share some tips that would help individuals realign their lives and priorities to focus on what truly matters to them?
Uh, I think I'll give a bit philosophical answer to this. I think uh, it all starts with why. It all starts with the purpose. I do agree that uh, because I'm an existentialist, I don't think that there is inherent meaning to life. Uh, but then we humans cannot live without a meaning, no matter how superficial the meaning it may be.
Mhm.
We need
Yeah,
that. So I think creating that meaning and creating a purpose of our own, according to our life, which is very unique to ourselves.
yeah,
I think finding that meaning and finding that purpose, that is the most important thing in life. And when you find that, I think all the decisions of life becomes easier and they are in alignment with that purpose. And then that is the key even to the problem of societal pressure or peer pressure and all that. Because when you know your purpose, then it doesn't matter what others are doing.
yeah.
I think that is the most important thing that tell people, that find your purpose, find your why.
That's such a good advice. And also, what's even better is that we can decide what this purpose is. It's really up
Yeah,
to us to choose. So
exactly.
decide whatever purpose you want to have for yourself. Don't like look for it. What's my purpose? What's my purpose? Can somebody tell me what I'm supposed to be or to look like or to do at this age or in this situation or in this life in general? Don't ask these questions except to yourself and know that you have the choice. Like, even if you don't find it like immediately what your purpose is, just discover it. That fun, and then decide what you want to do, and then go for it. And it's very important what you said about being focused on the purpose, so we don't really care about what everybody else is doing. You have your purpose, you have your goal, you know where you're going, you know what your north star is, and you don't care about everybody else's stars. It's just everybody has their journey, and it's just that we live in a society that is so competitive and so under pressure. Everyone is under pressure, and it's really sometimes it needs a shift of perspective and some empathy to put ourselves in somebody else's place and see, like, yeah, actually, everybody's just doing their own thing and following their own challenging maybe times in life and following their own dreams. And everybody thinks of everybody else as an external projection, but it's not the case. Like, everybody's just in their own like world. So
Yeah.
just focus on yourself and be like open-minded and empathetic towards everybody else, and you'll see that it's really like something very common, that we are all under pressure, and social media is really, really playing a major role in
Yeah.
putting up
Yeah.
this pressure more and more. So
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for sharing this great advice, Piyush. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So how can people interact with you now that you shared your expertise? I really appreciate it. I want you to share like, how can people interact with you? How can we work with you?
So I think people can work with me one-on-one. As of now, I only do one-on-one coaching. I don't do any group coaching as of now.
Okay.
In the long term, maybe next year I may think of uh, creating a cohort. But anyway, uh, that's in future. But as of now, people can work with me one-on-one. I do have online sessions connected through Zoom, and people can visit my website. I assume that you will be putting all the links in the episode. So I
Yeah.
think people can connect and book a session through. So Calendly is linked, integrated on my website, so they can directly book on that.
That's perfect. And I'll make sure to add all your social links in the description of the episode so our listener can find you and join you easily. Is there any final words you want to leave our listeners with today, Piyush?
I think that's what I think. I gave that answer that uh, uh, we are living in the era of social media, and I don't think that Mark Zuckerberg or uh, Elon Musk cares about whether you are connected with your family on their social media or not.
Mhm.
They only want your time on that. So you are an asset to them. There is no other agenda. So it's up to you on how you want your life to be, and how much you want to be influenced by the social media. I think uh, mindfulness about all these things is what I would ask people to have.
Beautiful. So bring more awareness to life and
Yeah,
know your purpose and ask the right questions.
correct.
And yeah, to everybody listening, really don't worry about social media because everybody's sharing just the best stuff.
Yeah,
And not everybody is on vacation all year long. And not everybody's getting promoted every 2 weeks. It's not happening this way. Nobody's sharing the struggle and the challenge. We just wait for the success to happen and then we share. So keep that in mind, everybody. And yeah, be safe there on social media because it's becoming a scary place.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so thank you so much, Piyush Somani, for being an exceptional guest on the Success Catalyst today. And to our listeners, thank you again for listening, and we'll see you back in the next episode.